I know that you ain't learning this in church, but guess what? We'll watch movies like Superman, see him get brought back to life. We'll believe that. We'll watch Thor, he died, he come back to life. We'll believe that. But then when the Bible say no, you're going to get brought back too. But in that day, you're going to stand before the Father and you're going to get judged.
Right.
And he going to judge you off what you did while you was living.
Right.
And that's what our people can't understand. They thinking they just living for now. You ain't just living for now. You living for eternal.
Right.
And either you going to live eternally in the lake of fire, which is hell, or you going to live eternal with the Most High God and Jesus Christ and rule the planet Earth
praises
like we supposed to be.
Any honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rucha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow believers of this truth, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, there's a brother that follows GMS, Great Millstone, and he wanted some clarification on hell and Matthew 5:22, right, on hell, the hellfire doctrine. And this is why I put this clip in here with the IUIC, because they teach we're in hell, but also if you teach that we're in hell, the hell doctrine, then you also have to teach we're in the new covenant. Because if you're not in the new covenant, what's supposed to happen in the new covenant? How is he going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel if he threw part of the house of Israel in hellfire? So that new covenant in Hebrews 8 is talking about the ones that is thrown in hellfire who will be reborn. Right? Or let me say burn in hellfire, which is the nuclear destruction, and then they will be reborn. So this is why I did a video on them, catching them on Hebrews 8, when it says, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel after those days, and no man should be able to teach his neighbor. What would be the purpose of that? If we were in the new, old covenant. So it just seems that they make it up as they go along. So in order to be in the new covenant, right, those things would have to took place already in Hebrews 8. And it hasn't. Because the whole house of Israel is a people. When you look at a house, it's a people in there. If there's no people in there, then you call it a building. So this is what Romans 11:26 was saying, and all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. And this is also quoted from Isaiah 45, I believe, in 10, when it says, all the seed of Jacob shall be justified. At the end of the day, because the Lord is the one who causes us to go off, like Proverbs 20:24. So if the Lord causes us to go off and then he's mad at us and burn us for eternity, right, then that means he didn't have his emotions in check and he's double-minded, right? So he created certain people just to burn them in eternity forever? That doesn't make it sense. Esau's not going to be burnt in eternity forever. So while Esau is burning in eternity, while Esau is here on earth serving his part of slavery, we're going to get the worst of it by burning it for eternity? Yeah, this doesn't make sense. So anyway, let's go on. I'm just going to read this one out of Matthew 5:22. But I say unto you that whosoever shall be angry with his brother without a cause, and that's the key, without a cause, right, shall be in danger of judgment. Whosoever shall say unto his brother Racha, right, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire. So that all kinds to go together when you look at Racha, right? Let me see here. And we're going to get to the hell. That's the main thing I want to get to. Now the scriptures also say, let me see here. Yeah, I think I lost it. The scripture, hold on. Okay, I found it. Yeah, the scripture also says, rebuke and reprove, right? Reprove means to shame. That's not hating on a brother. This is why it says without cause. The whole part of correction is a correction. Now, some brothers may not get along that well, but, you're not supposed to do that. We all in hell. This is what the topic is talking about. So we all kind of go off. But you do the best you can to correct yourself, Racha means empty, senseless, empty-headed man, a term reproach used amongst the Jews in the time of Yahushua. So I want to get to the point of the hell, right? So we're going to see here all the different translations of hell. So right here is hell, Gehenna. and they will call it Gehenna of fire. So it says here, hell, I believe it was south of Jerusalem. Hell here is the place of a future punishment called Gehenna, or Gehenna fire. There we go. This was originally in the valley of Hinnom. Oh yeah, yep, South Jerusalem, where the filth and the dead animals of the city were cast out and burned. So when you see something like infected swine, so to speak, they'll dig a pit, throw them in there and burn them, right, if necessary, because that would be called hellfire, because the word hell just simply means underworld, or let me say grave. That's all hell technically means, right? It says a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. So that would have been, and that was, I believe, Gehenna was actually a great place. And then, they sacrificed their children, and it was like, kind of like what you see at the landfills where they dig deep ditches and burn the trash. That would be hell. That would be hell. That's Gehenna. Gehenna is just a pit of fire, right? A grave of fire. That's all that really is. So we're going to just take you to a couple of different translations. I took the time to go into the Young's Literal Bible, Young's Literal Translation of 1862. It says, "But I say unto you that everyone who is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment. And whosoever may say to his brother, empty fellow," which goes to Raka, "shall be in danger of Sahedrim. And whosoever shall say, rebel, shall be in danger of the Gehenna of fire." Right? So you see that there. I'll try to make this quick. So we go here to 2 Peter 2 and 4. It says, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them to the chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment." Right? So this is not some weird movie, sci-fi movie, where the Lord is up there fighting and took angels, right, and threw them down in the underworld of fire. This is what happened when translations change and they get this mythology, Greek mythology, all this stuff start happening, kind of like Santa Claus, right? So 2 Peter 2 and 4. Me and the younger brother, some years back, we sat down with a Roman Catholic and went over hell. He shut his book and got up there and got out of there when we started showing him the truth. Wisdom too high for a fool. So he says here, hell in this definition is, let's see what it says.
Strong's G 5020. Tartarao.
Tartaraho, right? And this is what it says. This is this definition of hell. A name of the sub-Saharan region, doleful. So you see the point? They've taken this one word and there's different definitions in the New Testament to describe it. Anyway, it says a doleful and dark regarded by the ancient Greeks as the abode of the wicked dead. See? Where they suffer punishment for their evil deeds. It answers to the Gehenna of Jews. So let's go here. And this is what they're talking about by the ancient Greeks. So I took the time to type in, where did the concept of hell come from? It says the concept of hell is, I believe Elder Apostle Tahar went over that too. The Greeks, Romans. The concept of hell as a place of eternal punishment for the wicked involved in a combination of pre-Christian beliefs, including those of Greek mythology and Jewish apocalyptic literature. So when you go to what you so-called call pre-Christian beliefs, just like I just showed you with the Gehenna of fire, right? If the dead was put there, and remember the scripture says, "I suffer not a witch to live." Remember, Jephthah's daughter came through and passed through the fire. Came through, and she wasn't supposed to go through, so he offered up as a burnt sacrifice, right? So she would have, when somebody's skin burned, and they'll say it's hot as hell or cold as hell. Hell just is really like a condition. It has different definitions, but it technically means a grave. So, like Sheol in the Old Testament, the same thing. Let me get that. I think I got it in the Old Testament. It says here in Deuteronomy, I'll get this one. It's Samuel, 2 Samuel 22:2. And we'll see what hell means here. The sorrows of hell, right? What does that say?
Strong's H, 7585. Sheol. Sheol.
Sheol, right? It says underworld, grave, right? This is what hell means, pit. So when you see hellfire, that's just grave fire, right? Pit, underworld, Old Testament, abode of the dead. So everybody goes to hell in a sense. You go to the grave. This is why, we'll get into that in a second. I want to hold that thought. Without praise of God, wicked sent there for punishment. Again, this goes back to when we hear the word Gehenna. Oh, now here it says of extreme degradation in sin, right? So you see a place of exile. So it also can be used in terminology if you get locked up and thrown in a dungeon. That's a place, and you go underground and they got them underground dungeons. Guess what? You've been thrown in hell, right? You get the point. And it's really about looking up the words, you know. Luke 10:15, it says, and through Capernaum, and if I'm not mistaken, that's where the centurion soldier was, which is right there in Israel. This is how we know the man that got healed was an Israelite. But anyway, that's another video. Which are exalted into heaven shall be thrust down to hell. See, another thing everybody think is these words, that every time you see a Greek or a Roman, that's just talking about another nation, when Greeks was multitudes of nations, right? You had our people converted over to different religions and beliefs. But anyway, it shall be thrust down to hell. So let's see what this definition says. It says Hades. So we just went through 3 different definitions of hell, right? That's because of those conditions. Okay, Hades just means a name or place of Pluto, the god of the lower regions. Have you ever watched that movie Spawn, right? With what's his name, John Leguizamo, and the martial arts guy. I can't remember his name, but that would have been where he went. That would have been hell. Okay, so that would have been hell. Michael Jai White. Names: Hades, Pluto, god of the lower regions, right? So it's all condition wise. And the underworld is under the world. It's a grave, a realm of the dead. There we go. Later use of the word the grave, death, and hell. That's what it is. Let's go to the online etymology. I'm interested. I never looked at it on there, so this is new. Sometimes I have things set up. Let's see what it says here. The netherworld, abode of the dead, infernal regions, a place of torment for the wicked after the death, right? Which would have been during before the death, all right? Like if he was torched in fire. It says here the underworld. Okay, let me see here. This is all made up stuff, and this part of universalism was used to scare us into Christianity. That was the one thing they used during the time of slavery to make us fear. And it's ironic because Esau, who's responsible for that, right? I'm talking about New Age. In Obadiah 1:18, it says the house of Esau shall be for stubble. It says here, so it has different definitions. Like here, to have hell break loose. Okay, hell bent. So basically, it just says grave. There's also using the term of infernal regions, hot regions. Like you could say a volcano that's like underground. That would be hell. A volcano in general that's spewing that hot lava. That is still hell. That is hell fire. Let me say that. There's a difference between hell and hellfire. I just wanted to make that point. the underworld, place of no return. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to touch on that. That word hell has nothing to do with some burning realm of fire for all eternity, when clearly the Israelites will, as you like I said, Romans 11:26. Let me get that real quick, right? Romans 11:26, just for the edification, so I won't be just speaking and not putting in what needs to be put in. All right, Romans 11:26 says, "And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written." Right? Let me jump to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45, I believe it's around 45 and 10 or something like that. No, it ain't that either. Let me go to Isaiah. Yeah, that's only 45 and 7. Let me see here. We type in here Isaiah 45 and 17, and you see right under it the matches. It says exact matches right here. "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end." World without end. So, but Israel, Yasharallah, the definitions, it says the second name for Jacob, right? The name of the nation, the name used to give unto the northern in the 10 tribes, right? That tell you right there when it says Jew and Gentile, okay? The name of the nation. So the other one I want to get is the seed of Jacob. I think that's in Isaiah 45. And I'll close. Yeah, I was in this 45 was, I was in the right chapter, but when you're going down, "In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel, in the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory." That's pretty much to the point. That's all I have on that. Shalom.